Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. My name is Don Daniel, founder of P.I.L.L Method International, a better way to eliminate debt. And today we are talking about the P.I.L.L method itself. What does P.I.L.L stand for? And how did this whole thing come together? What does it mean to us in the financial community, whether we are in the business of finance or whether we are consumers? It doesn't really matter. We need to understand it. And when we break it all down, guess what? When we break it down, we find out that we've never been educated on how lending actually works. No matter where you are on the spectrum, whether you are a consumer or whether you're in the business itself, have we ever had a class on amortization, on how the bank makes its money through interest and how to make it work for us? Oh my goodness, it's set up so that we pay way more interest than we need to pay. And because of that, did you realize we can use the same setup, use the same income to pay 75% less interest without having to refi, without having to make more money, and without having to sacrifice lifestyle? Oh, before I get started, I want to talk to my engineer. Right now, I'm still having problems with, hey, there's Reggie. I see you, Reggie. All right, Reggie, not a problem, man. I see you. Reggie is on this morning. He used to live here in Huntsville. And so listen, man, we're going to talk. We're going to talk later today. Hey, Kirk, we're going to try the shorter version of ET's information because I think that longer version somehow is there's something about it that YouTube doesn't like. So if you get that message, let's try the shorter version today. How's that? Will that be okay? All right. Good morning. Grand rising to Miss Bella Linda Rigby. Grand rising to you. She is watching us from Facebook. Reggie is here watching us on YouTube. And we have folks in the building on Clubhouse as well. We got Maya, we got Steve, we got William, we got Crystal. Hey, Jonathan, thank you for coming back in. Can I get you folks to start sharing the room? All right. And so we can get some people in here. That would be fantastic if we could do just that this morning. I'm going to be one of the first ones to share the room and ask people to get in here. We've got some fabulous information for you today. So let me be one of the first people to share the room. And please, folks, if you share the room here on Clubhouse, that means you are putting the information out for other people to see. Carlton, I see you in here. All right. Thank you very much for coming in. And if you're online, go ahead and share this information with others that are online as well. All right. Go ahead and share it out there. People need to see what is going on here. All right. So let me get back here to my comments there. My private chat. All right, let's play the short version with just ET today. Okay. You know, ET, the hip hop preacher, used the P.I.L.L method to pay off his house. All right. Let's see. Short version of ET today. All right. Listen, folks, you guys think that I do all of this by myself? Oh, absolutely not. Listen, you've got to have help. And I'm telling you, when you have the right help, like Kirk Nugent in your corner, I mean, Kirk Nugent is being celebrated all over the place. We are very fortunate to have him with us. And a lot of people are finding out who he is and asking him to to use his talents to help them to increase their presence on social media. This thing about social, can I spend just a couple of minutes before we jump into this thing? The social media has brought us all together. And because of the pandemic, do you realize because of the pandemic, if you are in the faith community, now not everybody is, but if you're in the faith community, the pandemic, taking church online has become not only big, but it is absolutely huge. You know, there's a scripture in the Bible. All right, there's a scripture in the Bible that talks about knowledge will increase, and because of that knowledge being increasing, this message of faith will go all around the world because knowledge increases. You don't know, folks. You don't know when something bad happens, how good can come out of it. And because this thing has gone online, because church has gone online, it is now bigger than ever to get this message out. And what is that message? The message is, do you love your neighbor as yourself? That takes a character change. Listen, it is not a natural thing, folks. It's not a natural thing to esteem others better than yourself. It's very natural to look out for number one. Very natural to look out for number one. In fact, we're born that way. But the universe actually exists on another level. The universe exists on giving, not taking. The universe actually responds to you as a giver because the universe is a giver. This whole planet gives to us. It gives us air, gives us water, gives us food, gives us opportunities. And then what do? We tend to take. When we start taking and looking out for number one, the system kind of breaks down, doesn't it? But what if we could get to the point where we start giving? On the 21st of this month will mark 1 year the P.I.L.L method has gone live giving out this information. And we're getting comments all the time on how people appreciate the message that we're giving. And folks, we haven't asked for 1 red cent in 1 year. Oh my goodness. I absolutely love where we are. Jeremiah, good morning to you, sir. All right. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Lena is back in the building. Good morning to you. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. All right. So let's go ahead and get started here. Let me see here. Okay. We need to knock some of this out and put some new information up on the screen so that we can actually share our screen. All right. And listen, folks, if you've got a question about anything that has to do with the P.I.L.L method, please raise your hand, come up to the stage so that you can understand more about this process of how lending actually is supposed to work and work in our favor. You know, people are surprised that when I talk about the higher interest rates and how the higher interest rates can be good for you if you know what to do. So don't lament the higher interest rates, especially when interest rates could go to double digits soon. Double digits. Can you imagine a mortgage at 10% when just a few months ago they were like at 2.99? And everybody thought that was great. What's going to happen if interest rates hit 10%? I already did a video on that. You want to go back and watch that. Hey, search that and go back and watch the one we did on 10% and how that can help individuals. If you can afford the payment, a 10% interest rate could uniquely set you up for great success if you know how an amortization schedule works. The reason why we look at these things and recoil in fear is because we've never been taught how it's really supposed to work. We've never been taught. And that is the whole purpose why we're here. And because Kirk Nugent is positioning himself to help get this information out, guess what? He's giving over here. He's helping to give this information out. And because of that, he's being blessed in other ways. Fantastically blessed with new and bigger opportunities. But you know what he told me? He says, no matter what happens, we're still going to work with you. I love that. I absolutely love that. So, folks, let me go ahead and I want to pull up some information here, get it on the screen. Let me see here. We got to get our PowerPoint going. All right. So we can talk about this a little bit and how all of this comes together. But I got 3 shares. Okay. I got 3 shares and that's not nearly enough. Can I get a few more shares? Okay. And so that information can get out there so people can know what is happening. All right. Share the room and other people can come in. Right now, we have a total of 9 people here. All right. And this is information that everyone is going to want to see. All right. And there we go. Let me pull this up. And I've got to see which screen this is going to end up on. It's going to end up on screen number 3. There we go. And we need to be able to share the right screen. All right. And present. There we go. Share screen. There it is. All right, folks, let me go ahead and take the time to get to where we need to be in our presentation today. The P.I.L.L method stands for prepayment of principal, isolating the principal amount, leverage, and liquidity. I'm going to take just a little bit of time to talk about where all of this came from. I started on this journey in about 2006 when, as a firefighter in Battle Creek, Michigan, I'm looking to understand how to pay my loans off, and I can't, to tell you the truth, I can't remember exactly how I got introduced to an amortization schedule. I don't remember, but when I did, and started looking at it and started asking some questions, I started learning more about the process I now call interest cancellation. When you understand interest cancellation the right way, you can use your minimum payment and still pay off a loan early. I can give you an example of it. This is not the P.I.L.L method, but it just gives you an example of how interest cancellation should work. Okay. If you understand interest cancellation, you don't need more money to pay off debts faster and cheaper. You can use your current budget, your current setup, your minimum payment to pay a loan off faster. Now, if anybody wants to know how they can use a minimum payment to pay off a loan faster, I can give you an example. And if anybody wants, put a number 1 in the chat if you want to know how you can use a minimum payment to pay off a loan faster. So how does that work? Because we're told not to use minimum payments. How do we use a minimum payment to pay a loan off faster? All right. So Derek wants to know. Derek says, I'll put a number 1 in the chat. How about those folks online? You want to put a number 1 in the comment section? Do you want to know how you can use a minimum payment to pay off a loan faster? Well, let me give you just one example to let you know interest cancellation actually works. So, when I was just first finding this out, my wife's car payment a few years ago was $400 a month. After studying an amortization schedule and seeing it the way that I see it, now I have Asperger's, or and some people just call it, Don, you're autistic, okay? And I'm on the spectrum of autism spectrum disorder. Okay, so my brain is wired just a little bit differently. So when I see an amortization schedule, I see things in pictures and patterns. Some people think that, it's my math skills, or somehow I had information taught to me as a person who used to work in finance. I've never worked in finance a day in my life. All right. There's absolutely no reason for me to know what I know. It wasn't because of hard work or trying to figure out an amortization schedule. It just comes to me. The hard work came in to developing it to the level it is now. But how I look and see an amortization schedule, when I look at that amortization schedule, it jumps out at me that it works differently than what we believe it to work. So now I'm sharing it with you. So, hey, Miss Keisha, how are you this morning? So, folks, here's what we're talking about. I have a car payment of $400. Now, again, this is not the P.I.L.L method, and we don't use this in the P.I.L.L method. But I just wanted to show you about how interest can be manipulated using your minimum payment. So we took that $400. I called my credit union. I asked them, would they accept from me $100 a week? And would it be applied to principal and interest? They said, yeah. Okay. So instead of paying $400 a month, we started paying $100 a week, even before I fully understood what was going on. You see, when you have Asperger's, you don't need to fully understand what's happening. You just have a thin slice of what could happen, but you have a great feeling it's going to work out in your favor, even though you can't fully explain it. And here's what I mean. So we started paying $100 a month. $100 a week on a $400 car payment. But the next month, when we had our statement, the bank said, you don't owe us a full payment now. You only owe us a portion of that payment. And I didn't quite understand what was going on. So when I gave the credit union a call, I said, why is it doing that? Do you know the people that answered the phone couldn't tell me what was happening? So we continued. I didn't pay the smaller amount. I just kept paying the $100 a week. We paid the $100 a week. And then now the next month, our payment was even less. And we kept doing that until the payment got so small. Then the statement said, you don't owe us a payment this month at all. Folks, I'm paying the same amount monthly, but I'm paying $100 a week instead. So by paying $100 a week, we got 2 months ahead, and then 3 months ahead, and then 4 months ahead. It was great. Listen, we paid off that car I think 1.5 to 2 years early. I can't remember exactly what right now, but it was way early that we paid that car off by paying the minimum payment. And it wasn't till some time later I understood how that worked. All right. How are you doing, William? Thanks for being here. All right. So here's what I found out. When you have a car payment, you're charged daily interest on the unpaid balance. Does that compute, everybody? So whatever your balance is, how your interest is charged is they do a daily interest rate to figure out how much interest you're going to pay that month. And then out of your car payment, then they subtract the interest first, and then the remainder goes to principal. Because you have lowered your principal now, they can't charge you as much interest this month as they did last month because you brought the principal down. So when they start that process all over again, charging you daily interest for the month, now you pay less interest. So now more of your money goes to principal. And it keeps doing that until you pay the car off. Every month, you pay a little less interest and a little more principal every single month. That's how your car payment works. So I found out later, Jeremiah says, can you do that with any other payment? You can't do that with a mortgage at all. Paying it every week. Mortgages don't work that way. Car payments work this way, and probably credit cards work this way, but mortgages do not. You can't pay your mortgage weekly and get any benefit at all. You get zero benefit paying your mortgage weekly because it has different rules. Has the same amortization schedule, but different rules. Okay? All right. So when I did this, when I started paying my car payment this way, all right, so I understood now that if I'm paying interest on the unpaid balance, if I give the credit union $100 in a week's time, they were only able to charge me interest on the unpaid balance for that week. But by giving them $100, guess what I did? I brought the principal down just a little bit, okay, in that same month. So now when they start charging me daily interest in the second week, they can't charge me as much interest now because my principal balance has been reduced within the month. All right. And so, and now I'm paying it for the next week. And then I give them another $100, bringing the balance down again. So throughout the month, I'm bringing the balance down 4 times within the month instead of keeping the same balance for the entire month so they can charge me the entire amount of interest for the whole month. So I need to know if this is making sense to you. I'm bringing down the balance throughout the month so they can't charge me as much money in interest. So out of my $400, more of my money is going to principal and less going to interest prematurely inside the same month, which means I am advancing the amortization schedule so I don't owe the whole payment the next month. Now, what are they trying to do by getting me to pay the smaller payment? Does anybody know? They're saying, you don't owe the whole payment this month, Don. You owe less than the whole payment. If I had paid what they asked me to pay, does anybody know what they were trying to do? By telling me I need to pay the smaller amount. Does anybody know? Listen, I would love to have somebody come to the stage and talk with me this morning so I don't have to do all the talking. All right. So here's what's happening. When I pay it that way and they tell me next month you don't owe the whole payment, what they're trying to do is recoup the most of the interest I just saved. So if I pay a smaller amount, that means they can charge me more interest now because I'm paying a smaller amount. So they're trying to get that interest back that I saved. That's what they're doing. So if you do something like this, if you're paying extra on your car loan or whatever, and all you're doing is, and you don't know the P.I.L.L method, but you're doing something to save interest on your car loan, don't, and you may have seen it yourself by putting a little bit extra, and maybe you're paying bi-weekly or weekly on your car note, and you find out that they're asking you to pay less the next month. Don't fall for it. Okay? When they tell you you don't owe a payment this month, don't fall for that either, because they're trying to recoup the interest that you just saved. When you get 2 months ahead, definitely don't fall for that. Says I don't owe a payment for 2 months now. You're giving back all the interest you just saved. Don't fall for it. So that's how you can pay off a car early, using the minimum payment. Once you understand interest cancellation, you want to know, what can I do with the amount of money that I have to work with to pay less interest? So folks, before we go ahead and jump in full force this morning, I want to thank you for listening to my story. We're going to hear from Dr. Eric Thomas and see what he had to say about the P.I.L.L method. So for the next 45 seconds or so, I need you guys to listen in. Go ahead. Oh, do we have Dr. Eric Thomas queued up? I think, yeah. So let's go ahead and...
yeah, we've got it queued up. Sorry.
All right, go ahead and let's play it.
Listen to me, y'all. But one of his mentees took us through one of their programs, and I paid off my mortgage. But guess what happened? My marriage went to a whole nother level. And you know why? Because my wife is a security freak. And even when I blew up, my wife would be like, oh, you blew up, but how long is you gonna keep making this kind of money? I was like, I don't know, forever. She's like, you sure? Because I'm gonna keep my license as a nurse just in case you don't. So when I paid the house off, my boy was like, you ain't gotta do that, you can do this. But when I paid the house off using that program, it took the stress level all the way down for my wife because we no longer had a mortgage. Does that make sense? That thing that was coming every month, that was getting on her nerves, we didn't have that no more. And so she was at rest.
I'm going to tell you, folks, when I first heard that, I was as surprised as everybody in the room, because I did not teach Eric Thomas the P.I.L.L method. Somebody I taught it to him. And he went on to say that person actually took the credit. But we edited that part out. So listen, folks, the P.I.L.L method works. So if you want to know the month, day, and year you could be debt-free, you can know. All you have to do is submit and ask for a savings and earnings report. So you can go to my 10K card up above, click the link, and find where it says get a savings and earnings report. Or you can just go to pillmethod.com, and you'll still see a button that says get a savings and earnings report. Fill out the information. Come on, fill out the information. Did you realize that the average family has 13 different debts? And those folks who work with us can pay off all of their debt in an average of 7 to 9 years, not just the mortgage. I'm talking about their mortgage, their student loans, their credit cards, their car loans, all their other personal loans. 13, the average family has 13 different loans, and they can all be paid off in an average of 7 to 9 years. Now, some take a little bit more, but some take even less than 7 years. So the average comes out between 7 and 9 years. Can you imagine that, paying off all of your debt because of all the interest you will not save? We save the average family around $150,000 in interest they never have to pay on those loans. That is phenomenal. And what are you going to do with money you would have paid to the bank? What are you going to do now with that money that you didn't have to pay to the bank, but all your debt is now paid off? If you keep track of it, doesn't it make sense? to invest that money? Because if you had given it to the bank, what are they going to do with it? What would they do with your $150,000? I need you guys, listen, I need you to kind of zero in on this thing. The average family saves $150,000 in interest they don't have to pay. And we're doing that without them having to make more money. We're doing that without having them to sacrifice lifestyle. They can live well and get out of debt. You don't have to eat beans and rice every day, or cut up your credit cards, or drive a 30-year-old car. You don't have to do any of that stuff. You can live well. Where is the sacrifice going to be made when you understand the P.I.L.L method? Especially leverage, we're going to get into today, leverage and liquidity. Where's the sacrifice being made? The sacrifice is being made on the bank side. They're not going to get all of that interest money. So more of your money goes to principal, less goes to interest. Now you can invest that $150,000 for yourself. How about that? All right. So let's go ahead and get into this thing and show you a little bit about what's going on. I guess this is a good time to talk about the book as well. And then we'll get into it. Listen, folks, let's put the book up on the screen. And so go to Amazon. This book has been a 5-time bestseller on Amazon. Go to Amazon and get the book. Folks, we have 3 shares in here. Can I get some more people to share the room? Please share the room so other folks can come in. All right. Just hit that little square down at the bottom and with the arrow coming out, and please share the room so other people can see it out in the hallway. They'll know that we're here so that they can come in. You guys are helping as well as learning. All right. That is going to be good. All right. So get the book. And then the holidays are coming up. You can share this book as a gift at Christmas and at Thanksgiving. Get the book for yourself and share it out. Some of you have read it already. Some of you know how valuable it is. Order a few extra copies and share them with family and friends. They will thank you for their gift. All right, let's go ahead. Let's put it on the screen now. All right. Let me see. I need to put this screen over here, and I need to put this screen over here so I can see what's going on. All right, there we go. There we go. I got it now. All right, folks, you should be seeing on your screen right now leverage. So go ahead, and if you want to see what's going on, go to YouTube, go to Facebook, go to LinkedIn, and let's go ahead and put leverage on the screen. Can we do that? There we go. All right. So let's go ahead and make it big. And we're going to go over this right now. So if you understand leverage, folks, leverage means what is the smallest amount of effort I can put into something to get the largest benefit. Okay. All right. And so once we understand leverage, here's what we want to also understand. All right. We want to focus on interest cost, not interest rate. We want to focus on interest cost, not just interest rate. How much is it costing me to manage my loans? And can I reduce the cost? It's like any other business. Any other part of business, we always want to reduce our costs. But when it comes to lending, especially for real estate investors, we have been taught to ignore interest cost. Why? Because the tenants are paying the rent. If we are a residential home buyer, we have been taught to ignore interest cost. Why? Because we have been taught to focus on interest rate. And once we have the loan, We believe that there's nothing we can do about interest cost except get a lower interest rate. That's all. That's how it's been taught. We've got 4 shares now. Thank you very much. Can I get up to 10 shares? Listen, even if you've already shared it again. I need to get up to at least 10 shares to help get to grow the room. Help me to grow the room. Okay. So focus on interest cost, not interest rate. So let's go ahead and put this example on the screen. You see now an amortization schedule, and I have highlighted in the cumulative principal portion, all right, $10,019.53 on this mortgage. It is a $200,000 mortgage at 6%. And in 45 months, here's what's happening. In 45 months on this loan, this homeowner will pay their loan down by $10,019.53. But how much interest will they pay to get that done? All right. So let's take a look at this. All right. 45 payments pay down their mortgage by $10,019.53. What's happening next? So look at that. It costs $43,939.97 in interest to pay the loan down by $10,019.53. Is that fair? Is that fair to do this? Listen, folks, I need you to see this where it says here that it's a total of $53,959.50 paid out to get a $10,000 benefit. Is that how we want to spend our money? Is that just to get a payment we can afford? Should we have to put up with the fact that in 45 months, it's going to cost almost $44,000 to get a $10,000 benefit in interest? That's a total of 53 grand, almost 54 grand paid out of your hard-earned money to pay a loan down by $10,000. How fair is that? Okay. Lena says, wow. Okay. All right. So here's what we're talking about, folks. What if it were possible to pay $10,000 in principal for less than $5,000 in interest? Would you want to know how to do that? Now, again, this is not the P.I.L.L method. I'm just giving some basic information on how amortization schedules actually work so you can understand it from a basic level. Our computers actually do all of this work for you and tell you exactly how much to pay and when to pay it. So when we talk about leveraging, I'm just giving you some simple examples about how leveraging actually works, paying a small amount of money to get a big old benefit. So if it were possible to pay the $10,000 down on your loan, not for $43,000 in interest, but for $5,000 in interest, about $5,000 in interest, would you want to know? Watch this. Here's just an example. Okay. Since every situation is different, we will use $2,000 as an example. Okay. And this is how much money you have left over after all the bills are paid. So I'm just using this as an example. The program would work if you had $1 left over or $21,000 left over. It would just work differently. But I'm just using this as an example. And I say it's an example several times, but somebody is going to message me at the end of this and say, where do I get an extra $2,000? Oh, Lord, help us. I can use any amount of money. I'm just using the $2,000 as an example. So the program works no matter how much money you have left over. We're going to use that. The basic theory of leverage is how small amounts of money can cancel huge amounts of interest. Are we all set on that, everybody? Are we okay? If you want to come, if you see any part of this and you want to come up to the stage and ask a question, raise your hand. All right. And since I'm the only moderator right now, I can't also watch the stage and the back chat. So I'll look and see if I have any increases in chat activity. There's Sean 10K just came into the building. So, I have to make him a moderator right now. I got 10 seconds to do it or he leaves. Sean, how are you this
You know
morning?
your drama.
How are you doing this morning, man?
I'm always good, man. I had to come and show you some love. I'm doing a couple stuff in the background, but I say, hey, let me come and show some love to my guy. That's it.
Listen, man, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. So, Sean, we just went over how we're going to use small amounts of money to cancel huge amounts of interest here, and we just showed how an individual paid out $54,000 just to pay down their loan by $10,000. The rest of that money went to interest. So we're going to show how we could do what we could do about that. All right, David. All right, David Hunt came into the room. He's watching us from YouTube. Thank you, David, for being here once again. Share the room, everybody. Even if you're online, share it. People want to see this. All right. So here we go, folks. Getting it. Sean, do you have? Would you mind sharing who you are and what you do? Because people see my 10K card all the time at the top of the room. And this is your invention. Tell them, and I use this thing all the time. In fact, I was in another room yesterday when they were talking about how valuable your card was. I was going to have you come in, but you already doing your another room, and you had like several hundred people in there, so I didn't bother you. But tell us about the 10K card, would you please?
Don, first of all, thank you so much for the opportunity as usual. The 10K card is just a very simple way for individuals to share who they are and what they do. I mean, you can put from your website, your phone number, your email, your calendar, your social media links, any upcoming events you have, anything that you basically want to share with your audience that will pique their interest, connecting with you. The card is something that you'll want to do. Also, I believe in doing the work once and getting paid multiple times. I don't believe in doing the work multiple times to get paid once. So whenever I'm out and about and I'm moving around and I'm sharing anything, I'm involved in anything, and someone's like, wow, I heard you reference this, I heard you reference this, I like that, I like this, whatever it is, give people an outlet to go directly and connect with you, because some people may like you and want to support you for whatever reason. And if you don't make it easy for them to promote you and support you, that is no fault of your own. So if you have a mission or you have a message out there that you want to promote, guys, even having someone taking your card down and sharing it with others is doing your brand the justice. So position yourself in such a way where your fans, your friends, your family, and well wishers can promote and support your message. Okay, it's that simple. And one thing I know for a fact, guys, the agreement we have with Don, with every book that you purchase, you're gonna get yourself a 10K card. So the cheat code in getting one of these cards, go get a copy of Don book, send me a copy of the receipt. I'll have my team send you out one of the 10K cards. With that said, Captain Don, back to you, brother.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You're actually going to give people a 10K card if they buy a book?
No, we're gonna give them the basic card, which is $100 value, but they don't have to pay the $100 once they make a decision to go get the book. And that book, in my opinion, is one of the best construction I've put together because it's the user's manual of how to get out of debt by paying less interest. Back to you, Don.
Wow, folks, you heard it here. Sean Lashley is going to give you a 10K card if you buy the book. So send me your receipt. Send me your receipt, and I will make sure that Sean gets the information so that you can get a 10K card like this one. Listen, you need to click on that thing and see how powerful it is. If you are online, you can. You need to go ahead and go to Don or ICE, Interest Cancellation Expert, ICE, the number 10, the letter K.com. All right, plug that into your browser. ICE, the number 10, and the letter K.com, and take a look at my card. and it is a digital business card. It is the best thing on the planet right now to make sure you can share what you're doing with everyone else. So if you want one of those, buy the book and you get a card for free. All right. So anyway, all right. Hey, I've got Reggie here. Reggie, if you're still online, all right. I just tried to text you with the number I have, and it goes to somebody else now. So I don't have a number for you at all. So I can't call you. So you're going to have to message me somehow your number, and then I can give you a call. Okay. There you go. All right. So folks, here's what we've got. And let me tell this person, thank you. All right. So, all right, folks. So here's where we are on this thing. All right. So let's go to the next slide and we're going to take a look. Here is an example. After all the bills are paid, there is an average of $2,000 left over. That is the scenario. After all the bills are paid, $2,000 are left over. If you're new to the room and you want to see this example, please go to YouTube and search for P.I.L.L method on a separate device, and you'll be able to see these examples. It's a lot better if you can see the numbers. Okay, so here's what we're going to do with that $2,000. We're putting that $2,000 in a savings account to build an emergency fund. Okay, that $2,000 a month is going to an emergency fund. All right, and let's just say, is it possible to believe if you're getting everything you need to be done, everything you need to get done, and you could put that $2,000 away, is it possible that you could have about, let's say, $20,000 in your emergency fund in about 10 months? Wow. Got $20,000 in your emergency fund left over after all the bills are paid, after you spent money on having some fun, living a great life. But after everything is done, you have some money left over and we put it in the bank. I meet people all the time that are able to track their spending, make sure they have all their bills paid, and they're having a little fun along the way, but they're still able to put some money in savings. So I meet people all the time that have this kind of money in the bank. All right. Now, remember, this is just an example. I'm not saying this is how my program works. It's just an example of how interest cancellation works. Okay. And we're going to learn something about leveraging today. All right. So now let's say if I have $20,000 in the bank, could I take $10,000 out of the bank? All right. Out of my emergency fund and borrow it from myself. Could I take that and apply it to mortgage principal? All right. I saved it up and now I'm going to take 10,000 of it and put it on my mortgage. Watch what happens when I do. When I pay that $10,000 to the mortgage, I can pay it all the way down to line 45, not in 45 months, but in 1 month. What? Yeah. Because I've subtracted the $10,000 from what I owe, right? I've subtracted the $10,000 from what I owe, and it left me with a principal balance of $189,980 that I have right here on the screen. So I can pay that money over 45 months, or if I have it in the bank, I can pay it in 1 month. If I do, guess what happens? Do you see I've got the number circled there? If I pay that money in 1 month, I eliminate 44 mortgage payments I never have to pay, and I have eliminated $42,988.83 in interest I never have to pay. What? A small amount of money leveraged can kill almost $43,000 in interest. Oh my goodness. Listen, are you guys listening to this? Can you hear it today? I am so excited to let me get this over here. $10,000 prepaid. You got that out of savings. You showed you how to save it up. Put it on the mortgage. Knock out 44 payments you never have to make and save you nearly $43,000 in interest. Let's break this down. Your next mortgage payment is this. Your next mortgage payment is this. You are now on line 46 on your amortization schedule. If you have this $200,000 mortgage at 6%, and you have saved up $20,000 in your bank account, okay? And you've taken some of that money and applied it to principal. And you will eliminate all of these payments, and your next payment is on line 46. Folks, that total interest saved over $41,000. What? Over $41,000 in interest saved that you never have to pay. So I get the same benefit after the $10,000 is applied. I hope you are watching this online because it makes total sense when you see it online. After $10,000 is applied to principal, how long would it take to return that money to your savings account? Okay? How long would it take to return that money to your savings account? At $2,000 a month. You took $10,000 out, you borrowed it from yourself, now you're paying it back. Remember, you have $2,000 left over after all the bills are paid. Here's the answer. It takes about 5 months. Okay? 5 months. Now let's figure the cost. How much did it cost you? How much did it cost you to save $41,988.33. Anything you do with money, folks, there is a cost. So we're talking about leveraging small amounts of money and getting huge, huge, huge benefits. How much did it cost you to save the $41,000? Let's go and a little bit deeper into this example. How much interest is the bank paying you on your savings account? Okay? How much interest is the bank paying you on your savings account? Like 0.1%? Let's say you have a very generous bank. Let's say your bank is generous, okay? And the bank is giving you 1% interest on your money. 1% interest on your money. In a year, on $10,000, that means you could earn $100 interest on your $10,000. You took your $10,000 out of the bank and put it on the mortgage. It saved you over $41,000 in interest. Or you can leave it in the bank and make $100 in interest. Folks, which one makes more sense to you? Making $100 with that money or saving $41,000 in interest with that money? It was Benjamin Franklin that says a penny saved is a penny earned. So $41,000 saved, isn't that $41,000 earned? Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. So let's take that $100 divided by 12. All right? We're going to take the $100 and divide it by 12. If we do that, it comes out to about $8.33 for 1 month. So if I keep that money in the bank, all right, if I kind of average this thing out, I could make about $8.33 every single month with that money. So for 5 months times 833, my interest cost, what it cost me is $41.65. You need to see this. You need to see this online. So remember, everything we do costs us money. I'm taking I'm taking $10,000 out of the bank and I'm applying it to the mortgage and I'm saving over $41,000 in interest. But while that money is out of my bank, I'm losing money at the tune of $8.33. So as long as that money is out of my bank for 5 months, I'm losing $41.65 in interest. Folks, is this making sense to you? Because every time you do something, it costs you money. So what we want to do is do the thing that costs us the least amount of money. So if I take that money out of the bank, I can't make $41.65 with that money. I can't. So what's going on next? Total interest saved is $41,988.83. Total interest cost, what it cost me, the money I took out of the bank and I didn't make, $41.65. $41.65. That's left. Listen, I'm leveraging the money that I could have made. $41.65. It cost me that. But what was my benefit? What was my benefit? $41,988.83. Come on, everybody. Derek Risen is saying, hear you loud and crystal clear, sir. I appreciate that. So, Lena, I'm so glad you're here again. So, Sean, I don't know if you heard any of that because I know you've got several things going on in the background. If you ever want to say anything about this, just flash your mic, man, and come on in here. Is that okay? Yeah.
Got you, brother. Got you. But I'm working on the background as usual.
I know you are. All right. So, Liza, good morning to you, Miss Realtor. All right. So this is why this is why it is so important for us to understand leverage. We want to be able to understand leverage. And folks, we're coming up. Christina Ward is doing some hand claps online. She's watching us on YouTube. David Hunt is there watching us on YouTube. Jeremiah Sams is watching us on YouTube. Reggie is there. Miss Bella Rigby is watching us from Facebook. So, folks, if you're on Facebook, share it. Everybody needs to see this. All right. I want to know if everybody else caught this. If I take money out of the bank, that means I can't earn interest on that money. We're talking about a opportunity cost calculation. So I take money out of the bank. I can't also make interest on that money, even if I was making 1%, and I'm not making 1%. So it's actually costing me less than $41.65. So if I can't make that money, I can put it on this loan and save over $40,000 in interest. Is that a better job for my money? And how long I borrowed it from myself, and how long is it going to take me to pay myself back? 5 months. 5 months to pay myself back. And then if I pay myself back in 5 months, can I do it again? Could I take that same amount of money and apply it to the loan again after paying myself back? Oh! And by doing something similar to that, our program will tell you exactly how much to pay and when to pay out of your savings account. Out of all the money you save, the program is going to say, let's take what is the smallest amount of that money that you're saving? And when can we apply it to the mortgage to save the most amount of interest per dollar? When can we apply that money? How would you like to have a computer system that acts like financial GPS that can tell you exactly what to do with the smallest amounts of money that you have to get the biggest gain in interest savings? The more interest you save, the faster you get out of debt. Because the more interest you save, the more of your money that you have goes to principal. Folks, we're paying way too much money in interest. We've been doing it for years. This is the only show on the internet that shows you how to pay less interest with the money you already have. Oh, that's my hand clap. All right, so folks, we just went over leverage. I hope that this has been beneficial. We're getting ready now in the second hour. We're going to go over liquidity. Remember, already we've gone over prepayment of principal, isolating the principal amount, leverage, and liquidity. We've done 4 other shows on this. So start at number 1. All right. What is the P.I.L.L method? What is it all about? And watch number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Today is number 5, and we're going to be done with it. With this series. This is the last show in this series where we've gone over prepayment of principal, isolating the principal amount, leverage, and liquidity. Now, why am I making a big deal out of this? Because of the time that we only have 2 hours. Because of the time, I can't get way down deep into how all of this comes together so that you can get a better understanding and how you can save more money and interest. We are going to put together a masterclass on this information for the consumer and for real estate agents and for loan officers so that everybody can benefit. A masterclass that is going to save you tens and even hundreds of thousands of dollars. Jose, I see you, man. I see you in the room, man. Come on. A masterclass is going to save you hundreds of thousands of dollars. Just with information like you've just heard here today. We just gone over leverage, and we're getting ready to get into liquidity. Folks, you are in the P.I.L.L Method Club. If you are not a member of the club, go ahead and put your finger on that green house up above. All right. And there's only one P.I.L.L Method, only one P.I.L.L Method Club. And if anybody comes to you and says that they have something that's better, they have something that's similar, it is not endorsed by me. All right? Because the P.I.L.L method is a registered trademark. If you go to the government website where trademarks live and you look up P.I.L.L method, you'll see that there's only one owner of that trademark. Anybody else using it is using the P.I.L.L method fraudulently. Do not listen to them. We just found out yesterday that there's a gentleman on Clubhouse that is saying that they have a program not similar to mine, exactly like mine, that you can use to make money. I don't endorse it. It's not true. And I actually called the individual, and we did not come to an amicable agreement. I found out that he was contacting people from the P.I.L.L Method Club and saying information like, I see you're a member of the P.I.L.L Method Club. How would you like to make more money? Using the same information, Don, that you are learning in this club. How would you like to make more money? I don't endorse that. I didn't know this gentleman before the other day. And when I called him on it, it didn't go as well as I would hope. So I'm not sure he's not going to stop trying to contact people who are part of this club. So what we're going to do is I'm going to find his information, and let's see if we can pin it to the top. And if this person contacts you, then you want to be able to know that we don't endorse what they're doing. So I'm going to, let's see, we're going to share the profile.
You know, while you're doing that, Don, I'm
Yes,
just
sir.
gonna talk Mike really quick and say
Go ahead.
you spend so much time educating and feeding the community. And for anyone to try to walk behind you and take up anything that rightfully belongs to you, I think it's wrong. Anyone that's not gonna come through you, whenever it comes to doing anything within your community, I think that's wrong. I don't think that should be endorsed at all. And the reality of the situation is, I would always recommend everyone operate with it within integrity. Okay, if you know you're leveraging the use of someone's name without their permission, that's wrong.
Okay.
If you know you're reaching out on someone's behalf without their permission, that's wrong. So always seek permission through the organization, the organizers of any room, and go through that individual. I just want to put that out there, Don. Back to you.
Not a problem. And I'm glad the replays are on. So, folks, if this individual reaches out to you and sends you a message that they have something similar to the pill method, I even let them know to even write the words pill method in an advertisement is illegal because I own the copyright. Can't even use it without my permission. Okay? So if they contact you, would you please go ahead and DM me the information they send to you? Because I will send it over to the lawyers and we're going to demand that he stop. This is the person who's going into and looking at who is a member of the Pill Method Club and trying to solicit them to come over into whatever system he has. He says it's exactly like mine, but he's going to show you how to make money. And folks, I have been here this whole time. I have not told you how I haven't asked a dime from you so that you can somehow turn it into, when people start asking you for money so that you can learn how to make more money on a system that's already out there that the originator of the system didn't even ask you to do, please don't fall for that. I mean, the holidays is a time for scammers. So folks, here's what I'd like you to do. If this person follows up with you and sends you a message, please let me know. I will do whatever I have to do to get them to stop. All right. Thank you so much for your time. Coffee Brown, I see you up in here. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, Don. Sean, I'm one of the Smith and Wesson people. Do I need to take somebody out? What's going on?
Shut up, Kofi.
Sean, what's going on in there? Don't be messing with my Don now. Good morning, Don. How are you? Somebody messing with my Don?
Listen, they didn't know what they were doing. They sent a message out to somebody I got a word from the Black think tank. All right. And they said, do you want to know more about this, about how to use the a program that is exactly like the pill method to make a lot of money? And Richard told him, says, no, the pill method is the gold standard. See, folks don't know. They don't know what kind of friends you have. They don't know what kind of support you have. And when they go and try to do something, when you have done nothing but try to help people, they're going to come to your defense. They're going to come to your aid, and they're going to help you. And I appreciate everyone in the community that has reached out to me and said, Don, we support you and what you are doing. And this guy should not have done that. And Sean 10K reminded me that I have a responsibility to go to the person that wronged him in private and talk to them. And when I talked to them, they lied to me. And I'm not sure if they're going to stop. So now we have to go to the next step because I asked him for how many people did you contact? Did you contact them through, my group? He said no. How many people did you contact? He said, maybe 5 or 6. I said, I'd like to have those names so that I can contact each one of them to see if you have actually sent them a message retracting your statement. He would not give me the names. So I'm going to make sure that everybody's covered, that if they reach out, you know who he is. Send me what he's sending you, and I will take care of it from there. That's what happened, Coffee.
Don, first of all, thank you to the person that did that because you know what it does, Don? It just brings more value to what it is that you're doing. And guess what's going to happen? Those people are going to find you. What is this P.I.L.L method? You know, the great part about bad stuff like that is that the publicity ends up turning around for your good. So, unfortunately, that person is going to have to deal with their behavior. However, it is going to bless you in ways that you hadn't even imagined. So, thank you, kind sir, for doing something to bless Donna. You didn't even know it. I yield back to you, Don.
Thank you, Coffee. Why don't you go ahead and tell the folks who you are and what you do, and then we'll go ahead and finish our reset, and then we'll get into the second hour.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Don, I do whatever it takes to make sure that not only my family wins, but countless others. And who I am is a child of the Most High God. So, that's all I do. I do what I'm supposed to be doing so we can continue to expand the kingdom and add value to countless lives. We're in the publisher space. I am a certified master life coach with the John Maxwell method, and we focus on entrepreneurs, creators, and collaborators to help them to understand that you must have a published work. It is one of the 10 ways to create generational wealth. And believe it when I tell you, we still subscribe to publications that were created thousands of years ago. So you already know the value of a published work because we refer people to books all the time. Shantan K has a phenomenal, unprecedented library that he gave us access to, those that roll with him. He gave us access to abundance of wealth in published works. And of course, Don, you give us tremendous value with a published work. And that's what's so phenomenal about publishing. And you also can take that published work, create a business out of it. Out of just one publication, it can turn your life upside down for the better. Also, we do specialize in anthology projects, which means that we take your team and we coach them through a project, and guess what? The actual revenue and royalties comes back to your house. So if you want more information on how we can add value to you and your publishing experience, send me a DM on Instagram. Please don't send it here in Clubhouse. It does not work sometimes. So send it to me on Instagram, and be sure to let me know that you heard me in the P.I.L.L method room because we want to give credit and honor where honor and credit is due to Don. So Don, with that being said, again, I am Coach P. Coffee Brown here in the great state of Texas by way of Houston, and you can never have a good conversation without a great cup of coffee. I yield back to you.
Thank you so much. Ms. Liza is now on the stage. Ms. Liza, you wanted to come up and speak. What do you have to say this morning, Ms. Liza?
Hi, Grand Rising, beautiful people. Thank you for that information. If you could put it in the chat, I would love to catch up with you about publishing a book one day. That will be really awesome. Thanks, Don, for having me here. I just have a few minutes. I'm gonna step into the office, but thank you so much for um just like everything, all your information, everything that you give to the community. I won't even give light to that. I think that was already covered, because we go hard for the people that we need to. So P.I.L.L method is what's good. Ice, I wanted to give you some good update. I just closed on a house with one of my clients, and I'm just can't wait to sit down with you, get on that Zoom. Like, he's totally interested and on board to put this into effect on his first time home buy. And I'm just like super happy for him. He's Dominican, came here, is working super hard without his family, 4 years. It's a really good story. So like, now I'm just gonna keep on with that American dream and have his mortgage paid off in 7 years. And like, it's just the beginning. So I look forward to talking with you soon. I know the holidays are like getting busy, but we'll definitely link up. And anybody that's in this room that's here for the first time or hearing what's going on with Don, like, you need to follow this man. You need to connect with him. Actually, I think it was Coffee Brown. You were the one that actually sponsored my book. So actually, thank you, because I don't think that you knew that now. So thank you for that book, because it's really been really helpful for me. And we gotta I'm gonna translate everything to my clients in Spanish about all this, but we're definitely gonna link up so that we can get this information to our communities. Actually, I didn't even say, but my name is Liza. I'm really originally from New York, but now we're out in Lancaster, and I'm a realtor, and basically trying to bring this method out to as many people, because I believe that that's the true American dream, and freeing up all this equity that we have. We're paying too much money in interest cost, and there's just so many ways that we can just open it up. It's you can invest this money, you can pay people to pay off your kids' college, whatever, open up businesses. This is just an opportunity for people to get access to this equity that's just sitting in homes. A lot of people have these homes and they die, and the family never gets that. They never get the home. A lot of times they lose the home, or they just lose the equity. And it just is holding us back from being able to keep going up to other levels of freeing ourselves, creating jobs, creating our own communities, schools, things that access. So just thank you for having me. I do have to go because I have to file my final paperwork for this deal and on to the next. And thank you guys. Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you, Don, for having me. I feel super blessed and honored to be working with you.
Fantastic, Liza. So listen, another connection has been made. So Coffee and Liza. So Coffee, is there in your bio? Can she contact? Is there something that she can use to contact you, Coffee?
Sure. Of course, I have my Coffee 10K card, and of course, my information is in my bio.
Excellent. So Liza, please click on her bio, get the information that you need, contact her so that you can get your published work out there. That is so awesome. Another connection made. So Miss Liza, you get a moderator badge for that today. How about that? I love it. So folks, we are going to get right back into things today so that we can understand what is happening with the P.I.L.L method. So we're going to get into liquidity. So here's the next slide. If you're new to the room and you want to see what's going on, please go to YouTube. Then when you get to YouTube, search P.I.L.L method. When you search P.I.L.L method, then go and then once you search P.I.L.L method, then click on the live, and then you'll be able to find it that way. And then I want you to go ahead and subscribe. I need you to comment on some of the videos. I need you to like the videos. All right. And so just to jump off this next hour, I need you to hear from Dr. Eric Thomas one more time. Can we get Dr. Eric Thomas to come in for about 45 seconds so that he can tell us what he thinks of the P.I.L.L method? Have you heard of Dr. Eric Thomas, the hip hop preacher? Oh my goodness. Let's hear from him what he has to say about the P.I.L.L method. Play it.
Listen to me, y'all. But one of his mentees took us through one of their programs, and I paid off my mortgage. But guess what happened? My marriage went to a whole nother level. And you know why? Because my wife is a security freak. And even when I blew up, my wife would be like, oh, you blew up, but how long is you gonna keep making this kind of money? I was like, I don't know, forever. She's like, you sure? Because I'm going to keep my license as a nurse just in case you don't. So when I paid the house off, my boy was like, you ain't got to do that, you can do this. But when I paid the house off using that program, it took the stress level all the way down for my wife because we no longer had a mortgage. Does that make sense? That thing that was coming every month, that was getting on her nerves, we didn't have that no more. And so she was at rest.
All right, folks, you heard him. He says, listen, he paid off his mortgage early, make his wife happy, and she has less stress. So if you want to know the month, day, and year you could be debt free and reduce your stress, go to my link up above, click that link, and get your savings and earnings report today. It says get a savings and earnings report. Click on it. Follow all of the directions. Someone from my staff will contact you as soon as you submit your financial data to us. We need to know everything about your loans, how much you owe, what is the interest rate, all of that. And then listen, don't leave anything out. Don't leave anything out. Don't think you're making yourself look better to us by leaving something out. The average family has 13 different debts, and we're helping those families get out of debt in an average of 7 to 9 years, saving an average of over $150,000 in interest they don't need to pay. So, folks, go ahead and get that done today. Also, get my book, and 10K Cards is going to sponsor you with a 10K card for every book that you buy. Let us know. Send me the receipt that you bought the paperback copy. I will repeat, send me the receipt that you bought the paperback copy, and you will receive a 10K card worth $100. Just let me know, and you'll get it. Send me the receipt. Back channel me, DM me your receipt, and we'll get you taken care of. All right, we're jumping right back into going over the last L, that is liquidity. So we're going to put that on the screen. So here we go, folks. I need you to take a look at this. Liquidity, what does it mean? Is the ability to access your cash on demand. We need to pay down this debt at an accelerated rate without increasing the budget. Do you still have cash available for emergencies and or investing? So how do we use your cash? How do we use everything that has cash attached to it? How do we use that information to help you to save money in interest? Do everything that you need to do, pay off all of your debt. Oh, and listen to this, you still have cash available for emergencies and or investing. Watch this. We're going to take this off the screen now. Okay. And then I'm going to put up an amortization schedule over here on this same screen. Here we go. We're putting up an amortization schedule. We're going to go to Brett Whistle, and we're going to do some things that most people didn't know that you could do. We're going to go against a lot of things that we have been taught. So here we are, folks. I need you to say if you've heard of what's called a sinking fund. A sinking fund. A sinking fund is a fund that you're putting aside in the bank account so that you can have money for emergency situations, like a sinking fund for a something that breaks in your house. So the hot water heater goes out, or I have to fix a window. Do you know with the new windows that they have now, I've got a triple window in my kitchen. I got a triple window in my kitchen, and I've got the double pane glass. Well, somehow one of the panes got broken, got cracked. And I didn't realize that there was gas inside the two panes to help insulate my house. Well, when I found out, I said, when that got broken, I said, well, I got to get that repaired. Did you know they couldn't fix just the one part? I couldn't have that one part replaced. I had to take out the entire system of 3 windows and replace it for one cracked pane. Oh my gosh. So you do want to have some money available to fix it. But what type of money, that is going to be the key. You need to know that all of your money should be treated as liquidity so that you can level up. So let's just say I was watching on the internet a young lady who has about 9 different sinking funds for different reasons. And in one of those sinking funds was at least $18,000. Very proud of the fact that she had $18,000 in cash to pay for something. And why? Because she didn't want to put anything on her credit card. She wanted to use the cash. So we're going to show you the reason why it could be to your benefit to fix stuff around the house, to use other people's money as your emergency fund and not your cash. Use your cash for something else. Use your credit as your emergency fund. I'm going to show you the benefit of that in this final hour. All right. So we're talking about liquidity. Liquidity is any money that you have access to, whether it is on a line of credit or it is cash in the bank or cash in your pocket. Let me ask you something. Between the cash you have in the bank, the cash you have in your pocket, all right, and the credit card you have in your pocket, you need to buy something that's worth $10. Can you buy it with the $10 in your pocket? That $10 is worth $10. Can you buy it with $10 you have in the bank? Yeah, you can. Can you buy it with $10 you have on your credit card? Yeah, you can. Which one out of all 3, which one costs you the most amount of money? Which one has the higher cost? Your cash or your credit? Cash in the bank or your credit card? Which one has the higher cost? Does anybody want to venture a guess to which one has the higher cost? Oh my goodness. All right, David Roberts, you got to get out of here. All right. See ya. Don't come in here trying to sell anything. We already went over that today. All right. I saw you in here, but I didn't know you were trying to leave messages to sell stuff to other people. And it's probably a bot, probably a robot. All right. Come in, leave a message, and then get out. So yeah, we're going to catch you and we're going to eliminate you. All right. Don't try to come in here and sell stuff. All right. So here's what we got. So let me put something on the screen here. We're going to still use that $200,000 mortgage that we were using before at 6%. Folks, if you want to see this, go to YouTube and watch it. Okay. Here is the mortgage payment, and we're going to pull up another amortization schedule. All right. So we've got an amortization schedule. And we'll go here, and then we're going to put in a $5,000 repair. Okay, $5,000 repair on a 27% credit card. All right, there we go. There it is. Okay, so we have a $5,000 repair. All right. We've got $5,000 cash in the bank. We have several $1,000s cash in the bank. All right. But we have a $5,000 repair. Is it cheaper to pay for that repair with your cash or with your credit card? Do I have any guesses right now? Somebody come to the stage and talk to me or put it in the chat. Which is cheaper to handle that $5,000 repair? Is it cheaper to use my cash or is it cheaper to use my credit card? Should we be using sinking funds to take care of this? Or can we learn how to use credit cards responsibly and powerfully to pay for stuff? Anybody want to take a guess? All right. Somebody says cash. You've been in my room before. Okay. The cash is more expensive. Thank you, Lisa. Okay. That's Lisa Ivy. Coming up with the right answer. Your cash is more expensive when you keep that cash in the bank. Number one, it's making like 1/10 of 1% to keep all that cash in the bank. So, and the reason why we keep that cash in the bank, we've been told you don't want to use your credit, you want to use cash. Let me point this out, and I want to be very clear because we've got the replays on because somebody's going to take a piece of what I said and twist it. Credit is for people who have resources. If you have money, then use credit. If you don't have money, leave those credit cards alone. Credit cards are for people who have money, who have resources that can pay them off at any time. Do not use your credit cards for buying stuff that you don't have the money to buy. Okay? I mean, talk about stuff that eventually is going to get old and you throw away. No, I'm not talking about people who use credit cards to invest. You know, I know some people who use credit cards to invest, to get them started on their investment career. That's investing money. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about people who use their credit cards to buy stuff, but they don't have the cash to back it up. Yeah. Credit cards are for people who have resources. So please, when somebody comes back to you and said, Don said, always use credit cards. Credit cards are better than cash. And he's saying that even if you don't have the cash, go ahead. And no, I'm not saying that at all. All right. So, David, what do you have to say to us this morning in the back channel? David Hunt says, just share the room. Please share the room, folks, on all your social networks. Thank you, David. Elijah says, I'm at work, so sorry can't come up to the stage. That's quite all right, Lisa. Come in here as often as you need to get this information. But folks, you can also, this is the first time. Oh, listen, thank you so much for being here. First time in the room, folks. So watch the replay on YouTube, Lisa, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel because we're trying to build up our YouTube channel. Subscribe, go ahead and like it. And like some of the videos and comment. All right. Lisa says will do. Thank you so much for that. All right. So actually it is, if you go if the 10K card that I have above, you will see a link that says watch us live. And when you see that watch us live and you click on that one, it has each link individual. There's one for YouTube. There's one for Facebook, there's one for LinkedIn, and there's one for Twitter. So all of them are there under Watch Us Live. Okay? Phantasmo. All righty. So let's get together. Or you can just go to YouTube and search P.I.L.L Method. Any one of those and search P.I.L.L Method. In fact, if you Google P.I.L.L Method right now, it takes up 3 or 4 pages on Google. In fact, we're more popular. The P.I.L.L Method right now, international, is more popular than birth control. With birth control being in the news as much as it is, P.I.L.L Method is still more popular than birth control when you take a look at the Google rankings. Ha! How about that? I am so proud of that fact. All right, folks. So I've got a $5,000 repair. All right. And let me take a look at this $5,000 repair. And I'm putting it on my credit card. And people are doing, says, listen, Don, why put it on a credit card? It's going to cost you a lot of money. Even at 27%. I deliberately chose a high interest rate because people see a high interest rate and they're saying that is killing you. All right. Number one, let me show you what this really means. I'm going to put a calculator on the screen so you can understand what's really going on here. Okay. 27, okay, divided by 12 equals 2.25. So what's really going on is that you're being charged 2.25% each month on the unpaid balance, not 27% a month. It's only 2% a month. That's what that means. 2.25% a month. So when you see 27% on $5,000, don't freak out, because what we react to are the words. We're not reacting to the numbers. Okay? All right. So, what we're looking. So, Miss Ivy says, "How do I handle charge-offs?" And all right, and do you like Capital One? I don't. Credit Goddess comes in. You want to take on your Clubhouse? Do a search for Credit Goddess. She's usually in here, but she's training VAs right now. And if she can, she'll come in at the end of the show. Contact Credit Goddess. She knows all things credit. She is our resident credit expert in this, in developing and strengthening your credit profile. Okay? She helps you to get the credit. I help you to save money on the credit. Okay? So you want to ask her those kinds of questions, Miss Lisa, but thank you very much for asking it. You know, I want to stay in my lane. You know what they say? Stay in your lane. Okay? Now, she's taught me some stuff. In fact, I'm a client of hers. Can you believe it? Yeah, I'm a client of hers. All right. And Brenda Jackson says, got it. Thanks. Brenda, you know we love you. All right. We know you. Listen, I love it when you come in here, Brenda. All right, folks. So 2.25%. So watch what happens here. So in the very first payment, I need you to see the interest only payment. It's $112.50. This is how much interest you're paying per month to put a $5,000 expenditure on your card. And somebody says, $112 a month. Don, that's a lot of money. Yeah, well, you know, it all depends. You know, it depends. Is it a lot of money in one sense, or is it a lot of money in another sense? All right. So listen, folks, if you choose, and here's what you need to think about. If you choose not to pay something in one place, all you're doing is choosing to pay it in another. But we don't look at every other thing. We don't look at opportunity cost. I need you to write that down and look it up. Opportunity cost. When it comes to liquidity, we need to understand that all of our funds are fungible. 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 Interchangeable. But even though they're interchangeable, all of our funds are interchangeable. Some funds are more expensive than others. So I know now that if I don't pay this loan off as quickly as I can, it's going to cost me over $100 in interest a month to hurry up and pay this off. All right. Well, what if I already have the cash available? Okay. What if I already have the cash available? I could pay this off any time I want to. All right. But watch this. What if I took 5 months to pay it off? I don't have to take 5 months to pay off $5,000, but what if I did? Okay. And if it cost me 100, let's say my interest cost did not go down every time I made a payment. Let's say it stayed at the whole $112.50. So the most this could cost me The most this could cost me in 5 months, $112.50. I'm putting it on the screen. $112.50 times 5 months. Everybody out there saying it's going to cost you $562.50. Ooh, the credit card is killing you. Get rid of those 27% cards. They're killing you. $562.50. It's going to be less than that, but that's the most it could possibly be. All right? To put that $5,000 repair on a 27% card. But I could pay cash for it, which means I have the cash in the bank. But I'm going to show you what would happen. I've got this $200,000 mortgage at 6%. Now I'm going to show you if I had taken that $5,000 in cash, instead of trying to save $562 in interest by not using my card, because that's the reason why we use the cash, so we don't have to pay the credit card people the $562. But if I take that cash to pay for the repair, then I can also take that same amount of cash, that same cash, and apply it to this mortgage. If I put here, I need you to see cumulative principal and cumulative interest on this, folks. I need you to see that. All right? Wow, watch this. Cumulative principal, I'm going to go down to $5,000 right here. If I put that $5,000 on this mortgage, it knocks off 2 years of payments. 2 years of payments gone. And it saves me over $22,000 in interest. So I could take $5,000 worth of cash, pay for my $5,000 repair, and I don't have to pay $562 in interest to use the bank's money. But if I do that, what I'm really saying is I don't care about the fact that by not taking that $5,000 in cash and applying it to my mortgage, I'm okay with making 24 payments I didn't have to make. And I'm okay with paying $22,739 in interest that I didn't have to pay. Folks, where did this come from? Where did this information come from? That we should stack up this cash in the bank and not use it to save interest on this kind of debt. We have been told that credit cards are the devil. And the 25 and 27% will be killing you. But listen, we're going to show you. I just chose a higher interest rate. I'm not saying we should get the higher interest rate. I'm just saying if you did. It is not that big a deal if you have other debt that costs you more money in interest per month. I need you to see, while I showed you that it is 2.5% a month. It's $112 a month in interest that you're trying to avoid on the card. But look at the interest payments on the mortgage. People tell me all the time, Don, I don't pay interest on my credit cards. I pay my credit cards off each and every month because their credit cards may be like 10% or 12%. They're not even 27%. But somebody has fed it into their minds that the credit card interest is somehow worse than the $900 interest payments, the $1,000, the $900 interest payments on your mortgage. How is the interest cost on the card worse than the interest cost on the mortgage? Come on, people. Does everybody get that now? Do I have any hands raised that want to come to the stage and talk to me about this thing? Listen, everybody, Everybody, whether you're watching the replays or you're here live right now. If you want somebody to come, if you have an event coming up and you need a speaker, you need to contact the P.I.L.L method. All right. Listen, go to my card and contact us, and we will come to your city, your state, talk to your organization, your church, because it's time out that people stop giving out this bad information about how loans actually work and use your money to benefit you more by showing you the numbers. See, the thing is, folks, with the information that we're receiving from the financial gurus, we're hearing what sounds like good information. What they're not doing is showing you the numbers like I'm showing you here today. They're not showing you the numbers to back up what they're saying is true. They're not showing you the numbers. So if they're not showing you the numbers, then why are we listening to them? Because they're repeating all of this stuff that you hear on the internet right now. We just assume it's true. We just assume that they did the math and they're just giving us they're just giving us what they discovered. No, most of these people are just regurgitating and repeating what they've heard their whole lives. With the P.I.L.L method, people ask me all the time, it says, Don, what should I do in this situation? My first answer, I don't know. My second answer is, let's run the numbers and find out. Because people lie, but numbers don't lie. And you've seen it here, folks. You've seen it here. If I use my credit card, even at 27%, it's going to cost me $112 in interest. Let me go back here. I need to show you one thing. Come on. What? Come in here. Come in close. Let me show you this another way. I got $5,000 on my credit card. Somebody says, Don, pay off that credit card today because it's costing you 27%. So if I had that $5,000 on my credit card right now and I paid it off today, all right, I had it on for an entire month. Okay. If I paid it off today, here's how much interest I would save. Only $112.50. That's it. Even at 27%. Let me show you something here. Folks, we need to understand this from the standpoint of what interest cost really is. What if I got hit with a penalty and my credit card interest was 39%? 39% penalty rate, 39. All right. I don't want that. Okay. 39. Wait a second. Hold on a second. 39% interest. Boom. 39% interest. And I'm looking at this. And if I paid that card off today at even 39% interest, it would save me $162. No, not even that. $162.50. There it is. $162.50. That's all the interest I would save on a $5,000 card if I paid it all off today. I feel good about paying off the card, but that's all the interest I would save. I'm showing it to you right here, folks. You can do the math yourself. If you put it in an amortization schedule, all credit cards are amortized over 240 months, not 360 months. They use a 240 month amortization, 240 months. So the amount of interest that I could save, $162.50. Now, I could take that same $5,000, apply it to this mortgage, and save $22,739.10. It's not even close. Who else is showing you this on the internet or anywhere else? Any program that you have coming to your churches as far as teaching you finances and how to level up, none of them are showing you what it really costs to manage your debt. And the advice that they're giving you is costing you way too much money for the benefit that you're getting. Are you paying off your debt faster? Yes, you are. Are you paying way more interest than you need to pay to do it? Yes, you are. Do you want to stop doing that? Then invite the P.I.L.L method to come in and teach it correctly. Oh my goodness. I am so glad that you all have been here with me today. Miss Ivy is saying, wow. Oh, wow. Okay. She's saying nice. Okay. Okay. Great. Oh, okay. Listen, she's saying all of that today. Miss Christina Ward is giving a hand clap. Listen, folks, let me see. Derek Rising says, all right now. Says, whoops. Thanks. Got it now. That's what Derek is saying. Folks, I have 10 people here online. I want to thank you for being here for all 5 sessions of listening to me talk about how the P.I.L.L method works. Prepayment of principal, isolating the principal amounts, leverage, and liquidity. It took 5 sessions to get it done. I need you to share it to everyone else you know. And we are going to put together a masterclass on all of this. And we're going to put together a community where we're going to be meeting monthly for you to get this kind of information. And we're going to dig down deep. Okay? You can be part of our Zoom classes that we meet monthly. And you're going to be able to learn way more than I can share in these 2 hours 3 times a week. I can't wait to get that started. Oh my goodness. Listen, folks, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for being here. Are there any questions in the chat? We got a few minutes left. Are there any questions about what we went over today? Any comments? All right. I'm looking online in the comment section. I'm looking on Clubhouse. Are there any questions or comments about what we learned today? All right. I'm going back through. I'm not seeing anything yet. But listen, folks, I'm putting together Sunday's show right now. We're going to get together on Sunday. And it will be, all right, Sunday show. Sunday show is going to be our anniversary show. Sunday show is going to be our anniversary show because on the 21st is actually our anniversary date. That's Monday. We don't do a show on Monday. We used to do a show on Monday, but we had to give up that day. So we're going to be on Sunday. We're going to be in Jonathan Bing's club, the Mortgage Syndicate Club. The P.I.L.L method and the Mortgage Syndicate get together every Sunday to go over the information. So we combine our clubs. And Sunday is going to be our anniversary presentation, our anniversary show. We're going to come up. Says, what if I'm not good with math? Not my strength. Okay, Lisa, let me. That's a very good question. All right, let me put something on the screen for you since you asked. Okay, let me put something on the screen for you, and that is a very good question. To tell you the truth, math isn't my strength either. I'm autistic. When I look at this, I see the pictures and the patterns. I'm not really doing the math. Okay. So we had to do something to come up with the math. Kurt, I see you there, brother. What you got for us, man? Don't be coming up here, try to sneak in here. What do you got for us while I'm getting this thing ready for Miss Lisa? Okay.
Hey man, I'm here, man. I'm just chatting through. I was thinking that some people might come through and ask a question or a comment or something based on all that has been shared throughout the show today. Awesome, phenomenal content. 5 sessions to cover all of it, 2 hours apiece. I want people to kind of resonate with that because that's a lot of content and there's a lot of commitment and the thing that I take away from it, having been to all 5 sessions, is you can't abbreviate this. This is not a hey, can you show me in 10 minutes real quick how to do the pill method? It just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. So I mean, if you don't take anything else, I mean, 2 hours per letter, like that's crazy. So P.I.L.L, man. I just affirm you, Don, man, all the things that you're doing in this space and for how you continue to push and the desire, really, right? I mean, that's what I always say to folks in the coaching is that your why has to be bigger than the amount of likes you get, the amount of people who are watching or subscribers. It has to be bigger than that. It cannot be externally motivated, must be internally motivated. And if you do not know that Don's why is not predicated by how many times you share, how many nines you put in the chat, it's not predicated by how many hearts he gets or thumbs up he gets on these videos, or how many times you are commenting with a mind blown emoji. He does this because he genuinely wants people to be set free from financial bondage, and that's really what it is. There's no other way to call it. So that's why I'm here. I'm excited to be in the background, man, just kind of working things out. I get to serve as your producer. I know Don's going to ask me to say something about that. I get a chance to serve as your producer, make sure that the ships run on time, as they say, that you can see and hear and engage in a way that's meaningful. I am a visual learner, so I am very thankful that Don puts the things on the screen. Because when I see it on the screen, it just blows my mind. It blows my mind. So, Don, back to you, man. How are we closing it out today?
Today we're closing it out with I need to put the program on the screen because Lisa asked for it. Lisa, this is what we call our opportunity cost calculator. It does all of the math. I wish I had time to go over it. Maybe we can go over it more on Sunday to kind of close things out. But this is our opportunity cost calculator. We plug all of the information in. And when you see, I'm going to scroll down for you. When you see these little arrows, that's the program telling you how much money to move and when based on your financial footprint. So you don't need to know the math. You listen. All the discipline you need for this is pretend it's your GPS unit telling you when to turn.
That's it.
All right. So, folks, I want to thank everybody for being here today. We're going to, and just because of you, as part of our anniversary show, we're going to talk about how the opportunity cost calculator works, along with everything else as part of our anniversary show coming up. And Kurt, you've been here every step of the way. Why don't you take this opportunity to give us our final words before we listen to Dr. Eric Thomas as we transition out of this 2-hour session?
Well, man, listen, I appreciate the opportunity to close it out, Don. I just want to say a word to those that are out there, they're watching. I saw some comments in the chat. Somebody said that they admire you, Don. There's several people in the chat with a hand clap emoji saying nice, okay, great, wow, okay. Some people are saying, man, good morning. Yeah, other questions are in the chat as well. One of the reasons why I share those pieces because this is the power of live video. The power of live video enables this two-way communication that you don't get with any other form of content, where what you ask literally becomes the agenda for the show. What you ask can not only have impact and effect on yourself, but it has impact and effect on everyone else that's watching and listening. And I love that aspect of live audio, live video. And we're doing both here. Don is live on Clubhouse, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. And the power of live video can be harnessed for your business, your brand. If you're a coach, author, consultant, whatever you might be doing, there's truly no greater way for people to experience your greatness than for them to see you do what you do live. And I want to encourage you guys out there, if you're not already creating content of some form, fashion, there is someone out there who is banging their head against a wall that you can help them solve that problem, but you just haven't created the content yet. I mean, just think about that for a second. You just haven't created the content yet. I love the fact that Don is obedient to his calling, to the purpose of his life, and he puts this thing out there. Sometimes there are hundreds of watchers. Sometimes there's one or two. But Don delivers regardless of the number of people that are watching, because he recognizes that the intrinsic value that is in the information that he's sharing and its ability to free people up to live a better life. That's what we want to leave you with today. Want to appreciate you guys so much for coming and hanging out. And we are going to allow Dr. Eric Thomas the final words as we close out for today and for this week. Take care, everybody.
Listen to me, y'all. But one of his mentees took us through one of their programs, and I paid off my mortgage. But guess what happened? My marriage went to a whole nother level. And you know why? Because my wife is a security freak. And even when I blew up, my wife would be like, oh, you blew up, but how long is you gonna keep making this kind of money? I was like, I don't know, forever. She's like, you sure? Because I'm gonna keep my license as a nurse, just in case you don't. So when I paid the house off, my boy was like, you ain't gotta do that, you can do this. But when I paid the house off using that program, it took the stress level all the way down for my wife because we no longer had a mortgage. Does that make sense? That thing that was coming every month, that was getting on her nerves, we didn't have that no more. And so she was at rest.